Well, I'll do it again. Hello, everybody. So TGIF, it's Friday, I think. Who knows? Because I just cleaned my house over the weekend, and I can't believe it's 5 days later. I got fur balls and these three jokers with me now. Fur balls everywhere. We've got Debbie Denmon. We've got Suzanne Runyan. I'll get back to that. And we've got Callie Northagen. So the deal was, these are supposedly like my best buddies at HSN. Okay, so let me explain to you. Debbie Denmon shows up in Marla. Suzanne Runyan is useless.
Got it on.
No. Wait. She always talks about, now I have this Marla win and I have that Marla win and I live in it. She's not buying it. Callie Northagen showed up 5 minutes ago without a face on and wearing not Marla win.
I've been gardening today.
So I say to her, Callie, where are your Marla win? And she goes like this, oh, I'm wearing your pants. I went, that doesn't count. So Callie races off with 3 minutes. This is the real life of HSN. 3 minutes to go, Callie races off, puts on Marla win, and comes back with a freaking face.
Like that.
Oh,
like that. You know what it is? It's a little horrifying is what it is.
So I want to say that I have had some very nice times that involved alcoholic beverages and food with Runyan and Northagen. Debbie, we've been threatening to do that, so this will have to do. We welcome all of you. Oh, and if I look away, it's because I'm going to go onto my little phone and try and keep track of comments as they come in. But I want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us, because I haven't seen these girls in person now for 3 months. We've just learned we're not going to see you until at least September. Yeah. And so I decided that's not good enough. And I don't like those rules. So I just invited my buds to come hang with me. And I want to know, listen, COVID is horrible.
Yep.
And the loss of life is so tragic. However, I'm blessed. I've checked with you guys. You're all feeling very blessed. We haven't lost anyone close to us, but we've lost more people than we lost in the Vietnam War. So we are saddened as a nation, but in every half-empty glass is a need for me to refill it. and there's something in it. Now, I will tell you that I have found this to be the most creative, exciting time creatively for me, because all I've had to do, all I could do, is work and create and draw and wait till you see the stuff I've got coming up. I'm so excited. But I wanted to ask each of you, when you're not on HSN selling everything from shoes to knives to pots to pants to Marla Wynn, how you're spending your time. So Deb, I wanted to start with you because I really found your answers so interesting, because you spoke about doing a lot of reading.
Yes, I was so bored. I mean, out of my mind. I won't curse on this show. I was bored. Okay, anyway. Okay, I did not say that. As I go to my book of prayer.
My very religious potty mouth friend.
Oh, I pray about it.
Yeah, before you get started, I just want to welcome a few people. I want to welcome Kate and Darlene and Maxine and Christine Collins and Carol and Janet and Roz and Ginny and Adriana, and now it's starting fast and furious. So let's just go back to you, because I want to hear about what you've been reading.
Well, I used to love to read, and I think we get so busy with life, we stop doing what we're passionate about. So I just started reading again, and I could read a book in a couple of days. I mean, it would be like, don't bother me. Yes, your food's over there. I'll clean in a minute. But I've been reading Draw the Circle. It's a 40-day prayer challenge, and it's all these miraculous things that have happened from the power of prayer. I read Eat Fat, Get Thin, because I want to look like Callie and Suzanne Runyan.
Excuse me, but I wear the same damn size now as they do. Go on.
But it was really interesting because I had it all wrong. Like, I thought you couldn't eat eggs and couldn't eat avocados, and because they were like, oh, that's fattening, and olive oil. But so I learned all these healthy fats, and I can do this because it's all about flavor. So I got through that book. And then I read The Plant Paradox, as my sister is a health nut. My sisters are skinnier than me, and she's like, Debbie, you just need to get more vegetables into your diet. And this book is all about a thing called lectin that's bad for inflammation. So I've cut out all these things that hurt people who have autoimmune diseases, because I have one called Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid thing. Read about it. It's horrible. But anyway, I've been learning how to just feel better mentally with prayer, and then also eating more healthy and not just taking bits and pieces from what doctors tell you. You just have to read it for yourself. And it's helped, and I feel good. And right now I'm wearing an extra large, more extra larges than 1X. So hallelujah!
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, Debbie. One of the things I've always loved about you is how you wear your size, because you're a petite woman. You know, what are you, like 6 feet tall? I mean, you're tall.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm a tall glass of water. I'm 5'10" and 3/4. Do not go to 5'.
But you'll start shrinking soon. Don't worry. But you're tall and you're a curvy girl. But I've always loved the way you live that.
Thank you.
And I think if you feel the need to lose weight, you should lose the weight. But I think you should also know you are one of the you're really one of the great beauties that we have on HSN, and it's inside and out.
Well, thank you. It really was, you know, trying to feel more healthy, because a lot of times when you gain weight, it's out of your control. And so I had more weight on me than I've ever had in life. And I felt it in my knees. It's like, oh my goodness, try to race an 8-year-old. It's like, and a Shih Tzu. And I was coming in dead last. And I'm like, look at these long legs. I should be able to go. So it was really about feeling better. I'm not caught up in getting on the scale. I'm not caught up in, oh, I want to wear this.
Scale.
Yeah, at age 52, I'm beyond, oh, I want to be a size, 4, 6 or whatever. That was high school. I just want to feel healthy. And when my doctor told me, Debbie, you need to watch your numbers. You're going to get to this pre-diabetic thing. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, one autoimmune disease leads to another autoimmune. It got my attention. I was like, okay, you got my attention. So I got these books, and I just needed to understand how to eat. I didn't want to hire a trainer again and then quit and then hire a nutritionist. I needed to know for myself, what is it that I like and what is it that I can do, and have my whole family to kind of jump on board. And I can still drink wine. So let's drink to that.
That is the bummer about keto, but I will tell you, I knew that this was going to last a long time. I didn't really know how long, but I bought, because I can't drink wine, so I decided to buy a case of vodka, because I can have vodka. Now I am down to my last 3 bottles. Now I have to say, I gave one to one of the guys in our building who helps me with everything. I gave one to my daughter, and who's calling me right now, and then I drank the rest. So I've replaced it with wine. Now, Suzanne Runyan, what have you been doing with your COVID time?
Well, I'll tell you. First off, wait, I got to defend my outfit. And it's partially
There's no defense.
my COVID story.
No.
A really big part for me to stay sane is to be outside and be active. Because I play a ton of tennis. I've recently picked up golf. I haven't played golf in a long time. And I was golfing just moments ago. So thus the golf attire. But I did put on your necklace. There you go. And I think what happened is, for a while, it was a little nutsy. And then I was able to potentially, I'm now calling it underground tennis playing. Most of the courts, believe it or not, never shut down here. So we figured out ways, the people I play with, to play at other courts that were safely open. Don't even get mad, they were all open. But I called it underground tennis because, we were trying just to play wherever we could. It's sort of like trying to find a pickup game somewhere. And that was really, honestly, for all of us, it really is what kept me and my friends who play a lot super sane, because without it, you'd lose your mind, right? And the other thing that I think is so interesting is this period of time gives you a lot of time to think about a lot of things.
Yes.
Really interesting, because to your point, Debbie, we spend our lives around here, and then I got this and this, and I got, my schedule's crazy. All of a sudden my schedule wasn't crazy, except for, going to work and hanging out here and trying to squeeze some tennis in. And it really gives you time to really contemplate a lot of things. And I loved that, having that slow down period, actually. So while it has been for many of us a very negative experience, and there's lots of crazy stuff going on out there, I do believe there's always a plan in place. Kind of goes back to your circle book. And I love that book, by the way, Debbie. It's a fabulous. I read it years ago.
Yeah.
But I do think, there's always something that's supposed to come out of this. And I think for each individual, it's discovering something much deeper than it's ever been. I really do feel that way. But for me, it was sports and trying to stay outside and stay active. So I've been able to do that, fortunately.
And you, Miss Callie?
That's so cool, Suzanne. Very much the same. Ironically, my man, Tracy, come here.
Tracy,
Hi,
Tracy,
My
Tracy,
man.
Tracy, there it
So
is.
unattractive. It must be so difficult living with him.
I want
Although
his-
I'm sorry,
I want his hair.
I will not date someone with more hair than I have. I mean, you know,
So you only go for bald guys?
your
Is that
hair
what
is
you mean?
needed.
You only go for bald guys?
But Tracy had an accident. It's almost 8 months ago now, and he broke 7 ribs, punctured a lung, severed a tendon, had surgery. So the truth is, for us, we've kind of been self-quarantined since his accident in October because he wasn't able to do anything. He slept in. I had to buy a recliner. I actually am renting it
Wow.
because he slept there for 3 months, and it was really one of the most difficult times of my life. Can't imagine what he went through because it was. Anyway, so when this came along, it was like we'd already been kind of not doing anything and learned to obviously been a lot of binging on Netflix and doing a lot of documentaries and stuff instead of just being like mindless. We've been watching things that are meaningful and historical and like actual happenings in the world. So
And lots of vodka.
a lot of
And Tracy, have you watched Outlander? Because as a Highlander fan, you would love Outlander.
I've seen an episode of it. I haven't gotten back to it yet.
It's really good. I'm telling you. Dude.
But she's not into that kind of stuff, so.
Well, the make her sleep in the recliner.
Yeah, I go upstairs and I watch what I like to watch. He watches what he likes to watch down here. But lately we've been doing puzzles because we're getting to that point. I'm such an outdoor girl, though. I've been doing a lot of landscaping and gardening and just pruning of my yard, and I just feel one with nature. So it's just been a really interesting time, but I personally have really kind of liked not feeling the pressure of having to be social. I mean, that sounds so bad of me, but it's been kind of a treat for us, especially because we haven't been able to for so long. We didn't have to make up excuses that why we couldn't go out because it was just the world stopped for a while.
That's why, right?
Right, exactly.
Is we actually get along.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
I will say, you guys do. I've spent some significant time with you guys, and it's true. You guys really do get along very well. But I also, for me, it's been, as much as I love being at HSN, and I do, once I get there, it's the traffic to the airport, it's the sitting in the airport, it's the getting on the plane, it's the going through security, blah, blah, blah. It takes me a day to get to Tampa and a day to get home. And then I'm cooped up in a hotel and running back and forth. And I kind of enjoyed sharing my home with everybody.
Yeah.
And I have a TS, by the way, which launches at midnight Monday evening. And I'm going to be doing much of the TS from my closet.
Wow.
And yeah, because that's where all the stuff is. So why don't I just do it
Fun,
in my own closet, right? So that's going to be fun. But I've loved the freedom to share my home, to kind of, I was literally in Tampa. My schedule for the few months before COVID was fly to Tampa on a Friday, do a show on Saturday, have something to do I had to do on Monday, fly to Denver Tuesday and Wednesday, fly back for a meeting on Thursday in New York, and then fly back to Tampa. I mean, it was just like I was on a first name basis with like the security guys. And it just got crazy. And so I have sort of enjoyed that, but I miss my parents terribly. I would say that's the biggest challenge. What's it like for you guys there? Well, first of all, I'm not there, so you get to talk, which is good. But like, what's it like not
None
having,
of us have said a thing.
what's it like not having any of us there?
Oh boy. Well, it to me, I love the banter and the going back and forth. You get a certain energy when you're right there. Like I feel your energy here, but when you're right there in the studio, I mean, you make us laugh and there's just this energy. But with you being gone, I do think that the viewers just love seeing you in your natural setting. I totally miss the guests. I'm not going to lie. I like you right there because I feel the energy and I just feel like that chemistry and the back and forth and the banter is really better in person. but I think we're doing the best we can over Skype. And yes, we do get to talk more, Marla, but but I love your humor. I love your humor, and I really do miss that. So when the note came out that we were going to continue with the social distancing and you guys weren't going to come back until September, I was like, my bottom lip really did fall. So you've become family. I don't know. I think it's different.
How do you, Suzanne, Cal, how do you guys feel about it?
Personally, I'll jump in. I guess just from a safety perspective, I'm happy that people aren't going to be flying in, because this is long from being over. And, it's always kind of been a weird thing working at HSN, because people fly in from all over the world, who've been all over the world. And with everything as crazy as it's become, I'm glad they're taking extra lengths to keep us all apart from state to state level at this point. Obviously I miss you, and I miss, some of my favorite people. And it's been really like a learning curve to do it the way we've been doing it for the last 2.5 months. There've been some really funny moments learning how to have to demo products without a guest being there. Like I remember I had this cobalt scrub and I'm like turning it on and water's flying everywhere. And so there's been a lot of hysterical moments, like the crew, the bare bone crew that's on the set is like, we've been cracking each other up. So it's certainly just, everything is just so different, and now it's becoming a little bit more of the norm, but I think it's a good call.
From my perspective, I've loved going to other places in the world. That's the coolest thing. Like going to New York and seeing you, or we went to London with Sarah Davies, and Anna's in Atlanta, and just seeing people's places. I think as a customer, I've had so much fun being allowed into people's personal lives. Curtis Stone did a great show on top of his famous restaurant, out in LA the other day. And that was just so cool, right? And it gives, I think, because I think all of us hosts really do come from a customer first. So for me, it's just been so cool to say, oh, now we're going to go to New York City, because I don't get to go to New York often, or I'm going to London, or going to LA. And I think that adds such a different element to what we do. And I think it's neat because we all get this inside look at places we never get to see. It's always two people standing there doing their thing, and it's cute and fun and all that. We love it, and I do miss the guests. I just miss people like you, Marla, and friends who I really would love to see actually in person. Yeah. But I just think it is so much fun for us to be able to travel around the country and even around the world. And it's kind of magical being able to do that. I also think this is what's interesting, because I think this is a game changer for us. I think we're going to have the opportunity, and this is, no one's told me this, but I'm just, figuring things out. I think we'll have the opportunity to have more variety and more things on, because it's not so arduous to have to come to St. Petersburg, Florida, to our studios, blah, blah, blah. I think it gives us a really interesting opportunity to bring in a lot of interesting stuff from around the world now, not restricted by, hey, can they make it to Florida, which is not the hub of, it's not New York City, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's really been a very interesting process for us. And I do think it's going to actually change our business anyway.
It's really interesting. As you've been talking, people are saying it feels personal when you're presenting from home. Yes, they even like watching the news that way. And I have to tell you, I just noticed Karine Brûlé is somebody who just wrote to me. I know Karine from Paris. I mean, it's incredible how far, listen, the Chinese have a saying, may you live in interesting times. This is an interesting time.
It is.
Technology used to separate us, and technology now is bringing us together. And I think that we can either go, the world has gone to shit and it's going to be horrible forever, or we can say, this is a tipping point. This is a moment of change. I don't think life will ever be quite the way it was. I mean, Yahoo and Facebook and all the big IT tech companies have already announced they're pulling out of their offices. People are going to work from home. I always thought I have to live in New York because God forbid I can't be near my this and that. I've been talking to my team, like, where do you want to live? Do we want to stay in New York? I don't have to be here anymore. I've learned I don't have to be here. I could be in Paris. I could be in London. I could be in Denver. I could be in LA. I could be anywhere and do this now. And that's exciting to me. It's just, I got to get there, and I don't know how to do that because I'm scared to get on an airplane. Yeah. But I figured they'll figure that out. I don't understand social distancing. And then you see pictures of people on the planes, and they're so not social distancing. So somebody's got to explain that to me in a way that I can understand it, because right now that does not look good to me, that flying thing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty scary. I just think it's brought us all together closer because we're all in this together, and I really like that part of it. That we all had to just kind of come together. It was the best part of humanity in that people wanted to social distance. They wanted to do the right thing, and people, like we want to know how you're doing. You want to know how we're doing. I just think it's in that respect, it's bringing out the best in people, and it puts everything into perspective. Like you said, you don't have to be in New York where dreams are made of. All the songs are about that. It's about family. Your parents live in Denver, so now you're thinking of moving to Denver. I miss my parents in Texas. They're scared for me to get on a plane, and quite frankly, they're scared for me to enter their home after I've been on a plane. And that's hard because my parents are 81 and 78, and I have a 98-year-old grandmother who's saying, I've never seen this before, and she's getting a little senile, so every Sunday she's like, why are we not back in church? We need to get back in church. What's going on in this world? And it's just so funny.
We have so many people tuning in. It's just amazing. And if any of you want to ask Callie or Debbie or Suzanne a question, now's your chance. Debbie, I want to know, are you a Texas girl?
I am a Texas girl, born and raised. I mean, my 98-year-old grandmother.
I would never know you were from Texas, Deb.
Well, girl, let me tell you that I'm from Texas, y'all. I can
the first time I worked with you, I remember the first time we worked together, and you were like calling knits, wovens, and wovens. Like you did. Like I was just like, where's this? Where'd they find this woman? And like, right? I'm sorry. Like, that's true. And within a month, I come back, and you're like, well, this sweater knit is, blah, blah, blah. I have never. You took to this like fish to water.
Oh, it's my passion. I love fashion. Yeah, I love it, and I love being here. Florida's been a good new home. I've always loved to travel, and so yes, I am a Texas girl at heart. Both parents from Texas.
Nancy Ferrari wants
to know. Wait, excuse me, Marla. Can I say something? You are drinking the most ginormous martini I've ever seen.
And
Good God, look how big it is. It's like that glass is this big. I swear to God.
Big as my head. Let's see. People want to know, Debbie, what your background is.
Oh my! I'm at my home. We live a few minutes from the beach.
No.
Oh,
your background.
I was going to say, those elephant ears behind me. No, go ahead. So my background, as far as my career.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in the news business like a lot of the hosts have been. I anchored the news in Dallas for about 13 years. And before that, I anchored the news in Indianapolis. Before that, Tulsa, Oklahoma, covered the Oklahoma City bombing. Before that, lived in Colorado Springs, moved around quite a bit. In Dallas, landed back at home. So majored in journalism. I'm a news junkie. I still watch the news. Now I have to turn it off just a bit.
So Debs, how do you go from Oklahoma bombing to Bywin layers? It's like,
I feel like, what's that saying? You said God, man plan and God laughs. Is that what you're saying?
I said man makes plans and God laughs her ass off.
I thought I would always be in news, but I always used to get in trouble when I was anchoring the news. They tell me my necklace was too big and it was distracting and to take it off.
Necklace?
Yeah, when I'd be anchoring, I'd have a big necklace on and telling you about a tornado that just hit and 5 homes are damaged. And I'd have this big fabulous necklace on and they'd be like, what are you doing? So this was my second dream. It really is. TV, fashion goes together. Love it.
Passion is my fashion. A good tagline for Debbie. Guys are the 4 best. We're the 4 best people on TV. Did you know?
Wow.
That's what people are saying. Are we able to share our recipe? Linda, recipe for what? And then we'll share it.
Martini.
Yeah, vodka, a giant vodka martini.
Callie, what are you drinking?
I actually am just finishing off about a bottle, no, a glass.
Debbie, Darlene Williams wants to know, do you know Bob Brown? Because I guess he was on 2020 or something, and I don't quite get that. What is the QVC UK TSV? I'm not going to tell you what the QVC UK TSV is, nor am I going to tell you what my TSV is next week. But
And Marla, how am I not working with you next week? What is the deal? I was just looking at my
I heard you put in a request not to.
You know
I
that,
don't know. I don't know how that happened. I got Runyan. I don't get Denmon. I don't get you. You're wrapping it
You
up,
got
right?
me though. You got me.
I got you. And you always kill it, Suzanne. You are like, I have to explain to people who are watching what it's like to work with
Oh God.
Suzanne does not mess around. Suzanne shows up. You think she's all funny and easy. She shows up and she goes, okay, this is the plan and this is what we've got to do. And we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay. The only person who can get, who gets me into a submissive place, because I'll be over there like schmoozing with the girls, talking about their pedicures, their boyfriends, you know, whatever.
I'll be like,
Suzanne,
focus, let's focus.
hey, what's going on?
Marla, come on. Stay with me.
Let's go, right? And Callie and I, truth be told, have been on the air together. Up here I go. We've been together on the air through some of the most difficult nights of our lives. Why does that still get to me?
Yeah, you've been there for me through, truly, both of us, yeah.
But we have shown up, and I'll take one look at Callie and I'll go like, what's up? And I remember I was on the air with you the night my uncle died. Remember that night? And I couldn't leave and get, I mean, I there was no flights to, so I did the show because I couldn't leave till the morning, and something had happened in your life. Callie and I are on here and we're like this. And then Rocky goes,
3, 2,
we
1.
have 3 minutes. You might want to clean it up. Like the guys were like, you know, if you say to a man, I have my period, they don't know what to say. If you say to a man, I'm having a hot flash. And if you're crying, they don't know what to do.
They go
And
running.
so it was like, Callie and I are like this. And we realized 5, 4, 3, 2, hello. You know, like,
Yep, it's what we do for 2
that's what
years.
bonded us. That is how we became friends, that we accidentally, it happened on three different occasions where it just so happened the stars collided
Yeah.
and we were having not bad days like, oh, I have cramps. I mean,
No, just
serious
going through emotional life
serious stuff.
things. Yeah.
And then there's Denmon. You always bring happy to the, like I said to Debbie once, like when you're pissed off or angry because you have your husband call me or you're in a funny mood, I have never seen you. I have never heard you piss and moan. I have never heard a bad word out of your mouth about anybody. Like I will diss.
You're so sweet. I'm sure Callie has. Callie and I've been working every Sunday, getting up early. Side, Marla, I trust you. Snack cakes that you eat, very sweet. But honey, do I have a temper?
Where is your husband? Get that man over here.
Here, Richard.
He not a sweetheart.
Okay. So,
Hey, baby.
hey, how are you?
Hi, Richard.
So,
Hello.
how are you guys?
We're good.
Good. Debbie is Jean Grey. She is that.
Don't believe that.
She is that Avenger who, when you get her to that point, her eyes roll in the back of her head, and she turns into the fiery phoenix, and she stays that way for about 3 minutes, and she opens her eyes, and everything within a 3-mile circumference is leveled, and she says, "What happened? What did I do that?"
He always says that.
buddy.
There's Richard.
Hey, Trace. How you doing, man?
Well, now I got to get my husband up here. Come here, Craig. You got to say hi to everybody.
Yeah,
Come here, Craig. Come here. Just real quick.
Have to say hi.
I have a dog. Just
You guys, he's rolling his eyes. He's like,
I think you should
come here and
find
say hi. All the guys are up here. Just
Yeah.
come say hi. Just a real, bring a dog or something.
Oh, so we saw all these good-looking husbands on the live show. That's true.
There you
but
go.
she never brings hers. Let's check it
Here,
out.
here, you got to bend down. You got to bend down. You got to
hello
be
there.
Hey, what's up, man?
Ooh, okay, that was good. Thank you.
And see.
But yeah, I'm the type of personality where I'm always the same. And then he says when I get mad, there's no middle ground. I go from A to Z, but I'm usually all the way over here. But if I get mad, Jean Grey.
I would say I'm the kind of person you can like do this to me and I'll like kind of, but when I lose it, it's like a Tourette's ridden frickin' get out of the way. I could level a country.
That'd be
And then I'm over it, and I
Yeah.
think it's over. But I have decimated. People are in therapy for miles.
It takes me a lot too. I always tell people I am
That's
honestly, I am
really-
probably the nicest person you'll ever want to meet
Yeah, absolutely.
until I'm not. And it takes a lot, but when you push me there,
Yeah, don't make her mad.
Are you from A to Z too? Yeah, there's no middle ground. I'm usually right here, and then if you take me there, but it's good to be like that. I think that it takes a lot.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
We've all adapted to being that way from this job. I have a question for all of you guys though, especially Suzanne and Debbie, because we have so many different things that we do on air every day. These have like great short-term memory, but how is the long-term memory in comparison? Because mine sucks.
I'm sorry, I forgot your name. What was it?
It's
I'll tell you what I call it, because people do ask me. I'll tell you the one question I get asked a lot is, how do you remember all that stuff? And I equate it to RAM memory in a computer. Because RAM memory, you turn the computer on and the computer takes it all in and does all the computing. And then when you turn it off, the RAM memory is cleared out. You know, you have gigabytes that hold everything, but the RAM memory is only temporary. And I said, that's how I feel like it happens. I can take everything in, I can remember it for a short period of time. And then when I'm done, it clears out. So I call it, I feel that's the best description I have. It's called RAM memory.
I mean, I sometimes can't remember what I sold yesterday or even
Right.
what I sold 2 days ago.
Absolutely. I didn't know if it was the hours we keep because we're all over the place. There's no set time. But my husband said all the time, I don't know where my keys are. It's like, where are my keys? I literally went to work on Thursday with no badge. And right now they act like it's Fort Knox.
Yeah.
And it took me 20 minutes to get into the building with no badge. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I work here and I'm on the air like, and in a couple of hours, but I could not find my badge. So Richard calls me in the car and he's like, I'm halfway asleep and your badge is sitting right there in front of the TV. How could you not see that? And I thought, are you calling to make me feel bad? And he's like, I don't even have my glasses on. But Callie, I couldn't remember. Is it the shift? Is it because of how I'm in my 50s? Where does
Our
it go?
brains are full. That's the excuse I use. I just have too much knowledge.
Is that what it is?
There's a limit. There's only so many gigabytes I can handle.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's
And I'm
scary.
full. And so it falls out of my brain and into Bo's lap, and then he remembers for me. He's my
Oh, it was adorable.
he's my external hard drive.
Good analogy.
Is it CoQ10? I'm thinking CoQ10 will help me. I'm taking vitamins for it. I need to get it together.
Yesterday, Marla, when I was doing a test with Bo to get set up for today's call, we got it was all set. The camera was up, the audio was up, and I went back to my freezer back there, and I was literally pulling out steaks because we got a new grill the other day. Tracy put it together. I was pulling out steaks, and then I heard Bo's voice, and I realized I'm standing here in a t-shirt and underwear.
That's great.
That is the COVID dilemma, though. We all look great from here up, right? It's like, oh my goodness gracious, it's just so ridiculous. So how are you? Everybody's families are okay, correct?
So far,
Yes.
so good.
Yeah. My son is he lives in LA, and ironically, I went out to see him the second week of March. We always have a mom-son trip. This year I took him to Big Sur, and it's just him and I. And I traveled out there. I connected on my way to LA, and I wore a mask because I knew Corona was a thing, but I didn't really think it was a thing. And we went up to Big Sur, up at the top of a mountain, so far up that we didn't even have cell service. So I didn't even have the access to read headlines, nor would I want to anyway on vacation. But we came out of the mountains 5 days later to a whole different world. And we were just like, what just went down? Like in 5 days, it went from, it's a thing to, oh my God, it's a thing. And I mean, his buddies were calling him on the way back to LA saying, dude, stop and get some toilet paper because like every store is, and I was like, what just happened? It was so bizarre. But I'm saying that because I'm so thankful that I had that time with him before all this happened, because I don't know when I'm going to get to see him next, but thank goodness for things like this to be able to be, to interface with each other and almost feel like you're together,
Right.
It's
I'll
funny
tell you
how over the years you become family with the people at HSN. I mean, I've been there now almost 10 years, and I've watched, people come and go and whatever, and thankfully I've been able to stay. and we've added a few new faces over the years, like Deb's, but it really does become a family, and we start to become aware of what's happening in our lives, who's getting married, who's getting divorced, who lost a parent, how their kids are doing, who's graduating, who's getting married. It does become it's not just a job. It's kind of a family.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
I agree. Yeah. I think it's interesting because it is like that. But it's on the flip side, it's very bizarre because we don't see family very often. For example, Callie and I were texting, was it yesterday, Cal? And I was invited to go do something, and I've not seen her in months. And it's funny, it's like two ships passing at night. So you would think all the hosts would really know each other really well, but because we're all in such different worlds, we literally we pass each other, or I don't see people a lot. Like I don't see Deb, I don't see you very much at all. So while you get very close to people, a couple of people or some people, it's interesting that you're not close to everybody because we simply never see everybody. We don't. It's really because we all have these crazy hours. So it's funny like that.
Yeah.
The hours are, I will say that the hardest thing, I think, and I always kind of laugh when celebrities come to HSN, because when they get up at 2 a.m, they usually get paid millions of dollars to do that. It's not, you get 15 minutes in the makeup chair and get your butt out there. And I think it's really hard for them sometimes to adjust. You cannot be a prima donna and do this job.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, you do get up at 10 p.m. so you can be on at midnight, and then you're up till 2, and then you got to be back on at 9, and to be on at 9 you got to be there 2 hours in advance. So you just kind of go like, okay, I'm 64 and I'm going to pull an all-nighter, and that's how it is, and you just do it. Right. And I think that while HSN takes amazing care of us while we're there, we have beautiful green rooms and all of that, and tons of string cheese. It's that's I live on
no shame.
Cheese. That's on keto. I can have string cheese. But it is grueling sometimes, I think. And you guys, how many hours do you guys put in any given straight shift?
Well, I think we all have it's a little different though, is how I look at it. Because people always like, some people who are actually in the business, like, oh, you only go in and do a couple hours, you're done. Yeah. And they don't realize what goes into it. So for me, I have to go into work today. So I'm on at 9, I'll arrive at 6. So for 1 hour, I'll prep because I have to go through all the product and all the stuff we're doing, look at the show. Then you do half an hour to an hour in makeup, and we're doing that all of ourselves. So it's taking longer than ever. And then it's an hour after that to just make sure everything's on the set correct. And it used to be to meet with guests, but now we just call the guest. Mm-hmm. Then you go on for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And then it's usually about an hour after that. But here's what's most interesting. If people, even at our company, some people don't realize, the minute we hit the door to the minute we walk out of the door, we never stop. And so other people take lunch break and they go by and they chit chat and have coffee, and you see them hanging around the cubicles and all that. But when we get there, it is literally, you hit the ground running and you do not stop running until the very time you leave. So we put in a very intense, we don't work necessarily 8 hours, but if it's 6 hours or 7 hours, there's no stopping whatsoever.
Oh no, it's a very concentrated thing. Yeah. Because what you don't realize when you look at actors or hosts or newscasters or what we do is that even on those nights when Callie and I were really facing tragedy, when that camera turns on, I can't go high. I'd really like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Horrible. You just, because nobody wants, like, nobody really, like, I do know that the people who follow me have been so generous. When Jason was sick, the outpouring of love and support that we got was so touching and so incredible. And when they've become aware of little details in my life, it's been amazing. But at the end of the day, when people invite you into their homes, I think they invite you into their homes for the person that they know. And the whole expanse of who we are doesn't belong there, but we carry it with us. And I think that what it takes for you guys to show up and do those 3 hours and keep your energy up, even if you've had a fight with your husband or your parents are sick or one of your kids has got a problem, or, there's a flood in your basement. I mean, you have to show up and leave all of that out the door Whereas other people can show up and be kind of bitchy in a meeting and, you know, it's like, okay, no, you can't do that.
No, and I think the biggest thing I was shocked at, Marla, when I auditioned for the job, I said, okay, where's prompter? And they were like, there's no prompter.
No prompter.
I said, oh. I said, so you want me to they were like, just talk about the product. And in news, there's a prompter. The story's written. You have to stick to 20 seconds or 25 seconds, and you have to hit that commercial break. And I wasn't used to that. And so I think sometimes my husband, I can hear him on the phone saying, oh, her job is easy. She just goes in and talks, and she's good at that. And I'm like, it's not easy. If you think it's easy, you have to make sense. You have to sound intelligent. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to become the expert for that moment on that product. And producers are talking in your ear. And I don't think people realize how much goes into it, that you have to keep the ball going.
Well, someone's talking at you. Someone's talking in your head.
It's a lot.
You're talking. It's like juggling, right?
You're exhausted afterwards. I do talk a lot, and so you guys probably have to shut me up now. But when I get home, I literally can't talk on the phone for like an hour or so, because I just have to decompress, because you're expending so much energy, because you are talking the whole. If you're on for a 3-hour shift, just imagine giving a 3-hour speech. That's the way I try to tell my friends to kind of think about it that way.
It is like that. And, you know, I do give speeches from time to time, and I've learned, like, I am so much happier when I have to give a speech. I mean, I kind of know what I'm going to say, because I usually speak on the subject of reinvention. So I kind of know what that story was for me. But I am so happy when I have a teleprompter.
I know.
When you memorize stuff, it's not good.
Right.
I often think that people love us the most when we screw up. It's like,
that's true.
You know, like, you know, all the colors in the 2-pack tank, like we can, unless Bo has the time to go back and mark them, like, I don't even know what colors they are. And we like, oh, it's so geranium, it's in a shell. But last night, Colleen was trying to figure it out. I was calling, just call it pink, like go on to HSN. You know, we try to keep it together. We try to get it all right. But I think some of the most wonderful moments are those moments. I remember with Lynn Murphy. I think it was with Lynn, or was it with you, Suzanne, when we were laughing so hard I thought I was going to pee, and I had to because I kept forgetting the names of the models who I know really well.
I think it was you and me.
Was it? And I said, shit, and I got bleeped.
Yes.
And then I went, oh shit, I just said shit. And they're bleeping me. And then you're laughing and I'm laughing. I like sit down because I'm laughing so hard because I realize I have screwed up so badly. I am going to pee. I've been on it for 2 hours. And if you think my saying, oh shit is bad, you wait till I pee on air, okay? Like, I'm getting to an age. That happens.
I want to ask Callie and Suzanne, because this hasn't happened to me, but my biggest fear is that I will have to go to the bathroom and I can't leave. Like because you're slated to talk for 2 hours or whatever. And now that guests are on Skype, what have you guys ever had an emergency where you're like, I gotta go?
I have not, but it always amazes me because every time I get off the air, 3 hours later, it never occurs to me that I might have to go to the bathroom until I sign off. And I'm walking to my desk and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go to the bathroom. It's crazy. How about you, Suzanne? Does it happen?
No, it hasn't. But here's what happens is I have a routine, and some hosts do. I think we all have a routine, but I have a very kind of strict routine I do. And one of the last things I do before I get ready to go to the studio is I go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
so before I go, and then the only thing I did have happen to me, which has happened a couple times, is I had, as Marla, you said, the show must go on.
Right.
And what happens as host is if you call off, it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
You know, you are literally screwing a whole bunch of people who are after you.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. Our schedules are hard enough to get 25 people all in different shifts and get them there. So you don't, for me, I never call off because I know I'm going to influence others. I have to literally be dead and not be able to move, not to go into work. So I went into work a couple times and I was really sick. I was sick like the flu and I had to puke. And so and that's happened a couple times. And so what I would do is the guests would start talking. I'd cut my mic off. I'd walk over. I'd vomit. I'd come back on and put my mic back up and keep going. So I had to do that about two or three times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I stayed in there and worked. So it was pretty crazy.
Suzanne, I just want to tell you, feel free to call off. I'd be happy to cover for you.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I know.
I know that about
For me, I mean, when Tracy's accident occurred, it was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I get what you're saying. Cause I mean, I had to call and I missed like 3 or 4 shows cause he was in the hospital, but those are really the only times, unless you are literally in bed with a fever. We don't do that to each other.
Well, it's funny now, I wouldn't do it now, believe it or not, because too many people will fear that
Well,
you're
yeah.
going to catch something from you. So it's
Right.
the whole mind changes. I'd say, well, I've got the flu, so what? No one's going to get sick, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
think. I don't know. I'm pretty tough. But now, even if I have a sniffle, I wouldn't dare go in because everyone's really frightened.
I remember last year I had a TS and I was running the week up to it. I called you, remember, Cal? I was running 102 fever.
Yes, yes.
And my doctor said, if you fly, I don't even want to be your doctor because
Wow.
you're going to get pneumonia. And I'm like, Callie, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And HSN is like, nobody's ever missed a TS, blah, blah, blah. And they gave me one example, and it was because the person's husband had died. And I'm like, okay, well, I only have the flu. So I decided, okay, I cannot be this pathetic little wimpy chick. So I showed up and I did it. And God loved the crew. I show up. Not only did I get tea, I got the tea I like, which is mint. There were Kleenexes. There was water. It was like, okay, we're just going to prop you up, Marla, and just do your thing. And there is this magical thing that I find happens no matter what happens in my life. Remember Bob Fosse and Chip? It's like, showtime.
Right, right.
There's something about that moment when someone says, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're a lot. I don't know what you know what it is?
It's adrenaline.
I love performing. I
Yeah.
love it. I love being on camera more than I love making clothes. I think it's because I always wanted to do that. And I remember Gregory Mosier telling my agent that I was not pretty enough to play an ingenue and too exotic looking to be the girl next door. And that was like, and I had been studying in Second City and auditioning, and I was living in Chicago at the time, and this is really what I wanted to do. And HSN for me is my chance to get my little actor, performer, whatever chops, like I get to do that, and I love it.
Well, you're good at it. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I miss that energy. I know we're doing the right thing by trying to keep everybody safe with our guests not coming in, but I do miss that energy. And there's nothing like Marla walking over to the models and teasing them and, just having a good time. It's like forget her clothes. Like Marla will go off on a tangent. I've never seen anything like it.
I feel like in the control room, they're going, and she's off.
Reel her back in. Let's reel her back in.
I know that's your job. I know there must be meetings where, okay, you know what she's going to do. Don't let her do it. It's like, you're going to, what?
But you know what? Marla? I was on with we Skyped a couple weeks ago, and we were Skyping, and you're in your apartment, and you were like, oh no, I'm wearing them, and your legs are up in the air. You're still a riot.
Here's the thing. Everybody out there, our customers are smart. They know we're people. They know but I'm not selling a Ginsu knife, and for $43, and if you go in the next 5 minutes, you can get this in a car. No, I have a product. I love the product. I wear it. I live in it. Everybody knows why I'm there. I'm there to sell stuff. But I couldn't do my part of the job if what you demanded of me is sell, sell, sell. People know why we're there. We're wearing the clothes. And I feel one of the reasons that has helped me succeed at HSN with the people that do like my clothes, because not everybody does. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That is for darn sure. But for the people who are, I think they get that I am having a great time. And every one of those models, I adore those girls. I mean, I get to pick who's on my set, and I pick the people I love. Yeah. And I've been with them for 10 years. I've been with all of you except you, Debs, but now I feel like you've been with us forever.
I've been here 3.
But I feel like everybody knows of the shirts for sale. I don't need to talk about it. I'm wearing it, but I want to know if Victoria's gotten a boyfriend yet. I need to know how Yaz is doing, and I want it because they do, and I think my customers want to know. Yeah. I think they like when we are human beings.
Sure.
Flawed. We are reality TV.
We are. Sometimes the shows can be a train wreck. Sometimes, and that is the most fun. I think the biggest thing that I like from leaving the news business is you can just be your organic self, and you can just kind of go with the flow. And you never know. Like when Callie was saying, you know, her, what was it that you had and the water was going everywhere. I mean, those moments are memorable and they're real and they're fun. And I hope customers like that. I hope they like.
Can I share an inside story that happened last night, you guys? This is
Yes,
really,
please.
oh my God, I was bent over laughing on air. It was so funny. But people at home don't necessarily know what happened. So I had this guest on and I kept hearing this noise in the background. It was going, and I'm like, oh my God. And all I can do is we have to, as hosts doing this Skype, we have to really listen, because, you know, we're not beside the person. So you can't get any kind of clues from body or motions or anything. And I kept hearing it. I caught my mic and I go, is that like a bird or what is it? She said, it wouldn't stop. I was losing my mind, right? So my producer goes, hang on, just take over for a minute. Let me talk to the guest.
What was it?
What was it?
This is what happened. She had a little yappy ass dog. Just going, and she goes, hang on, and she threw him outside, and then comes back with me. They're in my ear telling me, okay, it was her dog. And I'm like, and they go, she threw him outside. I go, and they go, and it's pouring rain. And I felt so bad. So I felt really, I got
He was probably a little puppy.
I know, he's going to be shivering outside in the cold and it's raining because it was driving me nuts.
What is that? But isn't it funny that small things can distract you? Like, you can just lose your thought in mid-sentence. Like, I've even said, I think, Callie, it was your show. And we were going through a 5 and 5, and I looked down and I see these two veterans don't take notes, and my card is just a mess with notes. I could not find the color, and I was like, just tell the customer service people that you want the really cute blue jacket. You know, it's supposed to have a color and a name, and you just have those moments, man. But I think that's the best part of the job.
I do too.
Oh, here's your baby. Oh,
my
baby.
Oh, man, I love him so.
Cute.
You'll never know. Isn't he a cute one?
What kind of dog?
The golden doodle. This is Baker.
Oh,
And he-
golden doodle.
Oh, no,
This is one of mine. And he got the worst COVID cut. I did his hair. Look at his haircut. Look at how hacked up it is.
that's terrible.
I call it the COVID cut because I was like, it's like shearing a sheep.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh,
This dog, but he's starting to slow down. He's 13 and he's having trouble getting in bed with me. It's like being with an old man.
He's precious. He's so precious.
I don't know what to do.
So cute.
But he's really getting old. And you know what he's been doing, little stinker? He's been eating the cat's food, which $180 of a vet's visit. He would get diarrhea. And I'm like, where's this coming from? I haven't changed his food, blah, blah, blah. And the cat is constantly, I did this, if you look, there's this little thing online that I did about Green Chef. It's a little video. And throughout you hear, meow, meow. The cat is meowing. Why? I think he's so annoying. And then I realized that this one has been going in and eating the cat food. Well, he can't eat cat food. And as a result, we have a potty problem. So he's back on a rice diet.
well, just be happy.
It's very, very bad.
I was going
What
to
a
say,
pretty-
you have a cat too, Marla.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, the cat belongs to my dog. The cat was Sydney's cat, but Baker and the cat fell in love. We have a little bit of species confusion in this house. And I don't know if the cat thinks it's a dog or the dog thinks it's a cat, but they think they are of the same species. And if I take the cat to the vet, this one lays in front of the door going, and if there's a guy who helps me keep Baker walked, because I really do try and leave the house as little as possible given the density of the area I'm in. And the cat, while he's out, sits in front of the door going, meow, meow. So they're best buddies. They're best buddies.
He wanted screen time. He just came up and grabbed me. Hello, this is Cooper.
See, Kirby's now wanting to treat. In just a second, okay?
Callie, people want to know, is your cat a Russian blue?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
We rescued him in February. Isn't he awesome?
He is
Cute.
He's beautiful. Yeah, well, Oliver doesn't know that that's a place I eat off of, and he just
I know. Well,
he has no manners whatsoever. Anyway, you guys are so sweet to have indulged me and everybody for an hour. I guess I would like to kind of end, since we're coming up on Memorial Day weekend, with any message or word that you'd like to say, because thousands of people have tuned in. Just anything you'd like to say to anybody about what's coming up.
Well, I just want everybody to try to have fun. I think a lot of us, have been worried about this or that, and I think don't take anything for granted. You're healthy, you're alive and well. Go out and enjoy some fresh sunshine. I said, Suzanne, if you can play golf, I'm going to get out there more. If Callie could garden, I just stroll around the neighborhood. But I say get out there and just enjoy the fact that you're alive and well and breathing, because everything's going to be okay. And happy Memorial Day weekend, and y'all stay safe.
And Marla, I just want to thank you. This has been a blast. It's really been a neat, I love doing this, and I think this is really cool. And it's fun to see Deb and Callie and you and everybody. So, and to everybody who's tuned in or watching us right now, thank you for joining us. Like I said a little earlier, we go through this stuff because for whatever reason, we can have our choice of coming out and being healthier and more positive at the end of this, or we can come out really angry and really messed up. And I choose to try to find the best and come out of it as healthy as I can, mentally, physically, whatever, trying my best, and I think you have an option to look at this in two ways. And, I just hope everybody chooses to try to find the positive out of it, because honestly, I've heard so many cool stories around the country of people doing good for others and people reinventing graduations and things like that. And so there are some really neat things that are coming out of this. And I think that's kind of important to sort of focus on some of the positive stuff and not get too mired in the negative stuff.
I agree.
Well said, Suzanne.
Thank you.
So true. Yeah, we are a lucky nation, and as crazy as this has been, as bizarre and surreal as it still seems, we're going to get through it. We always do. And it's about people. It's about friends. It's about family. It's about love. And so keep doing the right thing, everybody. Even as things reopen, don't go crazy,
Right.
Be responsible, do the right thing, and this will be behind us one day soon.
That's right. You wear your mask for others. I want
right.
you guys for showing up for this. Getting your 3 schedules together is miraculous. As this weekend approaches, I always think about those who have always protected our country. This year, I think about the close to 100,000 Americans that we've lost and the many first responders we've lost. When you go to the grocery store this weekend, take time to notice that gal at the cash register. She had to come in so you could have your weekend. The guys who pick up the garbage, the people who work in your apartment, the guy who mows, all these people who we sometimes don't pay attention to. Without them, we would not have what we have. So this Memorial Day, I ask you to honor all of the essential workers in our country and take a moment for all of the families who have lost someone. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah! Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.